45 is fucking terrified and fucking panicking because basically he's fucking afraid that dumbass Giuliani's Ukraine work will be exposed and will basically put him in a tough spot. In May of 2019, 45 held an Oval Office meeting in which he tried to enlist National Security Advisor John Bolton in his plot to enlist Ukraine to smear his domestic enemies. 45 told Bolton to call Ukrainian squatter Zelensky and instruct him to meet with 45's lawyer, Dumbass Giuliani, according to a manuscript of Bolton's book obtained by the New York Times. Dumbass Giuliani's role is the deepest, darkest cesspool in the Ukrainian scandal. Probably for that reason, 45 and his lawyers have consistently denied knowledge of Dumbass Giuliani's activities. Last November, in an interview with Bill O'Reilly, dickwad, 45 repeatedly denied having directed Dumbass Giuliani's work in Ukraine. Well, you have to ask that to you have to ask Dumbass Rudy, but Dumbass Rudy, I don't even know. 45 replied, I know he was going to go to Ukraine, and I think he canceled his trip. But you know, Dumbass Rudy has other clients other than me. I'm just one person. So you didn't direct him to go there on your behalf. O'Reilly followed up. No, but you have to understand, Rudy is a great corruption fighter. Bullshit. 45 said, no, I didn't direct him, but he's a warrior. He's a fucking coward just like you, fucking redneck. Either this month, 45 was asked about a signed letter by Dumbass Giuliani to Zelensky, stating that he was representing 45 as a personal lawyer with 45's knowledge and permission. 45 again dissembled, I don't know anything about the letter. I'm pretty sure you do, so quit fucking lying. But certainly, Dumbass Giuliani is one of the greatest crime fighters in the history of our country, he told reporters in the office. Technically, he's not. The guy is defending your crimes, and so he's not technically fighting your crimes, he's defending them. 45 claims that he doesn't know anything about the letter Dumbass Giuliani wrote to Zelensky requesting a private meeting, but adds that if he wrote a letter, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Pretty sure it would be. If you're telling somebody to do corruption on your part, that's a big fucking deal. It was very important to Dumbass Rudy that I be a great squatter, and that's okay with me. But technically, you're not a great squatter. You're fucking up everything ever since you got in. It seems odd that Dumbass Giuliani would put such a statement in writing, identifying himself as 45's representative working with this consent, if 45 did not in fact consent to this arrangement. 45, of course, denies Bolton's account and never instructed John Bolton to set up a meeting for Dumbass Giuliani, one of the greatest corruption fighters in American history. Bullshit! Dumbass Giuliani is defending your corruption. He's not fighting for it, he's actually praising your corruption, basically. And Dumbass Giuliani was one of the worst mayors in the history of New York City to meet with Zelensky. He tells the Times that meeting never happened. Dumbass Giuliani's response is more layered. At first, he called the account of the meeting absolutely and categorically untrue, and asked again if Bolton, who was known for taking detailed, contemptuous notes of his meetings, was simply making it up. Dumbass Giuliani shifted to calling Bolton a rat. If I asked Dumbass Rudy if Bolton made up the meeting, I think he's making up some of it. He's sure making up. I couldn't call it making it up, but he's acting like a real scumbag by never telling me that he ejected once, and then saying I was a time bomb or a firecracker or something. Note that Dumbass Giuliani's idea of a real scumbag is not somebody who conceals an illegal scheme from authorities, but someone who spills the beans. Why are Republicans so desperate to hide all this from the public and the Senate before it renders a verdict? Bear in mind that the full details of Dumbass Giuliani's work have not yet been exposed. Two of his associates have been arrested, and Dumbass Giuliani is the subject of this investigation. Dumbass Giuliani represented 45 for no pay and was compensated by one of his partners, who was in turn paid by a Russian oligarch who works closely with Vladimir Putin. Dumbass Giuliani and his partners were allegedly using their political influence to shake down Ukrainian authorities for energy contracts. Today, the Washington Post has another scoop. Dumbass Giuliani met with Ukraine officials to lobby on behalf of his former client, a Kyiv mayor who Zelensky was planning to sack. The Post does not establish whether Dumbass Giuliani had any current financial interest in this, or was just helping out a past client for old time's sake. In any case, he had clearly been authorized by 45 as a representative in Ukraine and used that power not only for 45's improper goals, smearing the enemies, but also his own. At yesterday's Senate impeachment trial, 45's lawyers were asked who paid for Giuliani's work and refused to address that question at all. Meanwhile, 45 and his legal team maintained that this whole agenda was being driven in service of 45's alleged desire to clean up corruption in Ukraine, when technically 45's fucking committing corruption. He's not trying to clean it up, he's committing it. As pathetic as 45's defense team may be. No element is as incriminating on its face as dumbass Giuliani's work, even conceding it existed to admit guilt. But Bolton apparently has the receipts.